Welcome to Coffee Break Q&A. My name is Michael Moret. Question today from a viewer who asked about so-called prophecies today. Are they real? Are they from God? I am happy to be able to answer this question because it gets to the heart of what the Word of God really is and is not today. First of all, let's understand the definition of prophecy. Prophecy is a direct revelation from God, spoken from heaven to us directly. But you know what? God warns us in the last book of the Bible, Revelation, the last chapter, chapter 22, and the final paragraph of the Word of God, verses 18 and 19. This is what God says. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, Revelation and the Bible. If any man shall add unto these things, God shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, God shall take away his part out of the book of life and out of the holy city, and from the things that are written in this book. This is a very clear and very stern warning to us from God not to add to his completed word, which ended with the book of Revelation. And that is exactly what prophets and prophecies claim to do today. They are adding to the Word of God, they say. Now, I spent a lot of time in Pentecostal churches as a young, unlearned Christian. And I heard many of these so-called prophets give their prophecies. So I have personal experience with this issue. And I know how they contradict the Bible by what they are doing. None of the so-called prophets of today are from God, because God would never call someone to do what he has forbidden in his word, which is really his word, the Bible. These so-called prophecies make for good church theatrics, and they fire some people up who are not satisfied with the Holy Scriptures, but they are not from God because they contradict the Word of God. They can't be from God because God has forbidden us to add to his Word, the Bible. I could talk for hours by giving example after example of how these so-called prophecies have disturbed people and confused good Christians with their lies. I have dealt with the after effects of those so-called prophets, and I have seen how they have damaged people's faith in the written Word of God and caused other problems as a result. As God warns us in his Word, all they are doing is speaking the imaginations of their own heart, and they will answer to God for doing that. The Word of God is complete. The last book, the last chapter, the last paragraph of the last book of the Bible tells us so. The Word of God is complete with the Bible. It's all that we need. God has said so in the book of Revelation. He has said so in 2 Timothy 3:16. So, I would not pay any attention to what those so-called prophets, who are really false prophets, are saying. They will answer to God for using his name in vain by saying, "Thus saith the Lord," when he has not said it. Stick to the written Word of God. Stick to the Bible, because we know beyond all doubt the Bible is truly the Word of God, and it is our final arbiter. It is our final judge of what is from God, what is not from God, and these so-called prophecies today are not from God. I hope that helps. If you have a question for me, you can send it to scriptureversebyverse at gmail.com. That's scriptureversebyverse at gmail.com. Until next time, Michael Moret for Coffee Break Q&A. So long, everyone.